Today I attended the Isaiah conference of the Global Methodist Church, the South Georgia conference of the Global Methodist Church, with a fellow retired United Methodist minister. And in this video we share with you some of the topics that were covered at this conference. And this is Grandpa Bubba wishing you a blessed day. As always, I ask you to subscribe to the channel, to give us a like by hitting that thumbs up button. Share this with somebody that might be interested in these subjects. And if you have a question or comment, leave that down in the video description, the comment area. Brought your cell phone in here.
Give my cell phone in. Well, I walked out and I looked over and saw the truck missing. And I said, well, God bless him. I finally wore out his patience and he has took off and left.
No, it was right there in the corner.
Well, I didn't look this way, I looked that way.
Well,
and then I looked this way.
I saw you over there, and so I come and got in the truck and pulled over here. So.
Well, you're a good man.
Yeah. We about ready?
Yes. Lord bless our journey. Thank you for the day. Bless the lives that have been involved and continue to be involved in what is going on with the church. And Lord, more than anything else, we need your guiding grace. So bless all involved. Thank you for guiding the fellowship we've had. And we thank you for a safe trip home. In Jesus' name, amen.
All right, Eddie, we headed home now. And I am videoing, by the way, so don't say anything that you don't want your wife to know about. I will edit that part I just said out because I don't want my wife hearing that. That's the marvelous thing about video. Or film, as far as that goes. It's just film that requires you a few more steps. Well, they have filled in all the empty spaces over here, Eddie.
Yes, sir.
This one up here was, one on the end was there for a long time. And they want but about 2 apartments in it. And I mean, that we're talking about for years, not just months. And then all of a sudden it filled up and they put all these others in here.
Well, for the longest time, you know, they had one of them rented out, one up here. Yeah. But the rest of it was empty.
This ain't good, Eddie. I got sunglasses somewhere.
You got
Here they are.
a situation going on.
Yeah, we got a situation here. Well, that was an interesting conference.
Yeah, it was.
Quite informative. I have a question for you.
What?
Not that you are, not that you said you would, or anything like that. But if you were to disaffiliate and go join the Global Methodist Church, would you have them ordain you as an elder?
Good question. I probably would, just from the standpoint of, well, to tell you the truth, just from the standpoint, maybe I just wanted to. I mean, it wouldn't be any other benefit other than the fact that I thank God that we could do it.
Yeah.
But probably.
Look at that Bronco.
Bronco, that's cool.
Yeah.
And that's an oldie, boy.
Yeah, and that's the original stuff. Well,
Yeah.
I've given it some considerate thinking since he said it. And
Not that I said I would, or that I am, or planning, or anything like that. But I'll assure you that if I do, I want my credentials in case somebody asks me to perform a marriage or anything like that. I want to be able to do it, you know.
Right.
And he said something about there's just going to be a window of opportunity there. I'm wondering how long you got before you make up your mind.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you heard him say, but he also talked about that they would be doing that for all of South Georgia, and he said that he expected for there to be many that they would do that with.
Yeah.
And like I say too, just from a standpoint of just if they make that opportunity available, I would probably do it because you know as well as I do, there's not going to, and there shouldn't be, as far as that's concerned, at least not at our age, there's not going to be any financial remuneration or anything like that.
No.
But just other than the satisfaction of being able to accomplish that was one thing I really appreciated out of all the stuff he said. I appreciated the fact that, he said, let me tell you something. He said, if it wasn't for local pastors, so this church would have been in a mess a long time ago. And
He's absolutely right.
He's absolutely right.
And of course, I don't understand all I know about this subject. Or maybe I don't know all I understand, one or the other. But it seems to me, if you're doing the job of a pastor, regardless of what they call you, regardless of what kind of education you have, Eddie, that you want to be able to do that job without having to get somebody else to come put their approval on it.
Absolutely right.
Now, maybe I'm just crazy, but it's like I said to somebody the other night about these vegans were talking, well, we like the taste of chicken and stuff like that. We just don't want to eat it.
Yeah.
Or not chicken, they were talking about bacon and some other stuff, bacon flavored stuff. I said, that's kind of like somebody telling me that something tastes like chicken. If I wanted to taste chicken, I'd eat chicken.
Well, that's right.
Why get a substitute when you get the real thing?
Well.
But anyway, I understand, about the line of succession and all like that.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, and this is what I do. One of the biggest things that happened in the Methodist Church, if you'll head over this lane for just a minute, bird feed. I can do that when that's happened. But one of the biggest things that happened, and this is what I do, that hacked a lot of people off, and it should have. Not only local pastors, but folks on up to the line, up past to elder and above, is when they came up with the full order of deacon and gave them the same standing and the same privileges almost as an ordained clergy elder. Not trying to take away from anything that they do or whatever, but in most of those cases, those folks are educators or something else. They're not pastors, but yet they've got all those same rights. In fact, a lot of them, they give them the title of reverend.
Yeah.
And I just, and like I said, I don't begrudge. I know a lot of the folks out there do a good job. I don't begrudge them that. But if they were going to do that, then they should have, right along with that, voting rights and a lot of other things, full-time local pastors and associates and everything else, should have come then instead of waiting another 20 years.
Yeah, because the first, I'd say 80% of my tenure as a United Methodist minister, the only thing I could vote on were things that the laity could vote on.
Right.
Anything else, I couldn't vote on.
Right.
And it was kind of discouraging, to tell you the truth. But I liked a lot of what he said. I wanted to find out about our pension, and he says, if you have retired as a United Methodist minister and you disaffiliate, nothing's going to change. That's what I understood him to say.
Well, yeah, and that's what I understood beforehand, before we came. But having somebody that has been in the ground, the grassroots of this thing to begin with, it's good to hear it come. Because I mean he's been and had a lot going on with this thing ever since its inception.
Yes.
The way he was talking, which I don't doubt. But to have that clarified, and of course, you and I have talked about this, that because of our status and the way we're in a lot better shape. Whether we go global or state, United Methodist, or whatever we do. But I'll tell you something I've suggested to some of these folks, especially some of these, and I was glad to hear, and I wanted that clarified, because I had written that down on that little card they gave us, and I said, well, if this guy's going to be talking about nuts and bolts and pastors, he ought to be able to tell me, and he did, when he said, talking about lay supply, and they come in and they take which winds up being like the equivalent of the course of study courses, then they can come in and receive ordination too.
As a deacon, that's what I understood. But it only takes 5 classes, where it took 20 classes for me to become an associate member, which was a lesser level, if you will.
Yeah. And that'll be something good I can share with these folks that didn't know that. But I'll tell you what, and this is just between me and you now, don't share this with anybody else, but I'll tell you what I've told them. There's a reason, and I'll tell you the reason for it after I tell you what I've told them. There's a couple of folks which...
There's those docks I was telling you about for the Liberty ships.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a picture of that in the house.
Oh.
They built them right there and launched them from right there.
Good gracious love.
And that history's just, I bet outside me and you and a half a dozen other people, and I'm that dubious about the other half a dozen people, they don't know about it.
I have no idea. None whatsoever. But I had, I've shared with them, a couple of them, without having to go into any real deep detail. A couple of the folks that are considering disaffiliation, and one of them was I tried to, I didn't bounce up and down on anything else, but as much as I tried and bringing up some others did too, they want to go out as independent. And one of the reasons situation comes up, she said, I don't know what the future's going to hold. And if I wind up having to back out, what are y'all going to do? What are you gonna? So I told Brendan, I said, as long as you're here, and I told a few others, I said, if you're, and this is the part, I haven't shared that with anybody but them and you, and I don't, I'm not, just pretty well not sharing anywhere else, because nothing wrong with it, but because of the fact that some attitudes and things they might have to say to the people who would be involved. But I have suggested to them, I said, okay, I said, if you're planning, or your church is planning on going independent, not going global or anything like that, but going independent, there's two things that I would suggest. The first thing I would suggest is that as soon as you possibly can, you get your church incorporated. Just as a protection. And secondly, if you're going to be independent, and you, this person that are here, are going to be the pastor, to understand that once you disaffiliate, your certification and all that stays behind. You don't have that unless you go into global or something else. You don't have any of that. So what I would do, and there's ways that can do it, I said I could even, if you decide to do that, I and some others can help you do that, because y'all are going to be self-governing. Y'all are going to be your own boss, except with a good Lord. And what I would do, if I were you, and it was going to be that case, I would work with my church and get them to okay the fact that the church will ordain you itself.
It's been just an absolutely gorgeous fall day.
Yes, sir. Perfect day for a trip all the way across the state.
To get a chicken salad sandwich.
That was good turkey too. That was good turkey.
It was good. And I think that came from the food service here.
Well, it may very well have.
Because that big, tall, black lady, she works over there in the dining hall.
Right.
And she was here passing stuff out, so.
Oh, yeah. Well, they had other big groups, and I could understand them doing that. I think it was a smart thing. Because at first I thought when they said lunch provided, I figured they'd probably have us going to the dining hall.
Yeah.
But then again, too, they had 2 or 3 other big groups of several hundred here. So I can understand them doing that and handling it that way. And I think that was very smart.
Yeah. I think so. We're coming up on the I-95 Raceway, Eddie.
Yes, sir. And it sure is too, boy.
Well, every time I come by this intersection, it seems to have changed and stayed the same. And people are going to say, well, if it stays the same, how can it change? It just does. That used to be the Flying J, didn't it?
Yep, it did.
No, the Flying J was a Sunoco station, wasn't it? Somewhere. Maybe not. I can't.
Well, there's Sunoco.
Yeah. But anyway, the Flying J was in one of those truck stops.